There is a serious diplomatic tension going on right now between Ukraine and China. What happened? What is the reason? Now, the SBU, Ukraine Intelligence Service, came out to say that they observed recently that the drones that were fired against Ukraine had a lot of component microchips from China. They call them dual component. They can be used both for home use and the military use. Now, what that means is a direct indictment or accusation on China. China has always said we're neutral. We don't belong to anybody. Just like somebody once said, I belong to everybody. I belong to nobody. So China has always said that. And then it's Zelensky's way of saying, I mean, like a whistleblower. Hey, Europe, see them, oh, see China. Oh. And what did Zelensky do? Zelensky went on straight up and called out some big corporations in China, also called out some chief executive in China. He is not the one to impose the sanctions on them, but he is naming them to say these are the enemies of the West, these are the enemies of Ukraine, these are the enablers of Russia's military industrial complex. So whatever sanction is taking place against Russia must be imposed on them. That was the call of Zelensky. Angrily coming out to say that I know you're a world power, but we know what you're doing. We know you're not neutral. So that was Zelensky for you. Now, China, on hearing this one, came out this morning to issue a statement. They said, we understand very well that you're upset, but we see whatever you just said right now as a mistake. China is not taking side. Okay? So China is calling Zelensky to retract his statement. Else, there will be a lot of retaliations. Of course, those companies stand to be frozen. I mean, think about their asset, their money. The same thing that has happened to Russia. Imagine if their money is frozen. Imagine if their assets are frozen. So what happens? It's going to affect China directly or indirectly. In fact, directly. So China is saying before things get out of hand, we consider this as a mistake. Correct that mistake. Now, don't you think also that if sanctions were to be imposed on those Chinese firms and those executives, that it would give China the right to go all out this time around and support Russia? Because that's the way I see it. China has been like, okay, we don't belong anywhere. But now you've said that China belongs somewhere. And then sanctions imposed. So don't you think Zelensky is playing a dangerous game? What do you make of this? But then that's the tension between China and Russia. I mean, on the same vein again, Zelensky is trying to say that we cannot be discussing peace with, with Russia while Russia is being enabled by China. So to him, that should serve as a leverage that there's someone who is interfering with this war. That there's somebody who is supplying Russia with component. Forgetting maybe there's somebody supplying them from other side. I don't. It is just what it is. But then that is just the diplomatic tension between Russia, between China and Ukraine. For now, this will be knows. What do you know?